When it comes to like working out, you know, and doing your sets, right? Obviously, you want to go, for the most part, as hard as possible, right? You want to exert yourself just as much as you fucking can, you know. And I mean, you'll never really reach your like total capacity, you know. Hypothetically, if somebody were to like attach muscle contracting electrodes to my chest when I was doing that 4-plate bench, then maybe I'd be able to get a few more reps. Like maybe my body would be capable of that. But as long as you're really pushing yourself, then that's just as hard as you can go, you know. But the longer that you do that, the more, you know, gym sessions you get under the belt where you actually go hard, the easier it is to go hard, right? Like that was a hard workout. You know, I exerted a lot of force, huffing, puffing, getting a little tired at the end, right? But it didn't feel hard for me to do it. You know, for one thing, because I've done so many in a row, but also just because I kind of like enjoy it. You know, you want to, I think I read this quote somewhere. I don't care if you get it or not. It's like, you want to practice without striving. Whatever. When I heard somebody say that, it felt pretty good for me to hear. But, you know, you want to be able to go into you want to have sort of the mental state where you go into the gym, pretty calm, pretty whatever, but you still do like the craziest fucking all-out effort sets, right? I kind of feel like that's the best mentality to have. You know, you can go hard when you're thinking, I don't know, about like some bad, depressing shit in your life, you know, because you're kind of getting it out of you. What the word can it be? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you're demon mode, girlfriend breaks up with you, just shit's going wrong, and that's hyping you up. Like, sure, you'll get a good lift, you know, you'll go hard, but, you know, who wants to feel like that all the time, right? The best lifts for me are the ones where, you know, every set I fucking just go bananas, and then in between sets, all I get to think to myself is, oh yeah, that was a good set. All right, let's do another one. Right? If those are the primary thoughts going through my head during the workout, then that's perfect, right? And if you want to get into like that sort of zone, then you got to kind of take responsibility for your body outside the gym, right? You got to eat all your food. You got to hopefully be taking your vitamins and doing your creatine, drinking a lot of fluids, electrolytes and whatnot, getting some good sleep. As long as everything else is in order, there's really no reason why you shouldn't feel good and energized to hit the gym. You know, like if you are staying up way too late, not getting enough sleep, and if you're eating just like, well, I don't even want to say eating garbage, because I've been known to eat a variety of like junk food in bulk. But if you're not eating, let's just call it the right foods for your situation, or for your like your body type, you're not fueling yourself enough, then when you go to the gym, you can have all the motivation in the world, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to start thinking, oh man, this is fucking hard. Oh my god, I'm tired. Oh, I got a fucking headache. Right? If you got enough sleep, if you drank enough water, you know, you do all your creatine supplements, vitamins, all sorts of shit, then you should be ready to fucking exert yourself in the gym. You know, as long as you take care of yourself in between lifts, I think it's pretty much fine to hit the gym every day. But that's just me. That's not necessarily a recommendation. I'm just kind of telling you what I've been doing this whole lifting journey per se. Yeah. But, you know, if you need a rest day, like if you legit feel like you need a rest day, it's going to be beneficial for you to just take a day.
Don't overestimate the strength.
Do it. I do that too. If I'm sick or if I'm just busy or whatever, you know, a few rest days aren't going to hurt you. But I think part of me subconsciously kind of thinks that it's not good because then you get into a habit of skipping the gym. You know, I don't know. That might just be a me thing. But yeah, chest. I still can't get over it. That was a fucking sick lift. So, gonna go home, eat some food. And yeah, simple lift as well. I didn't do anything fucking fancy. I did like, what, maybe 2 drop sets at the end when I was doing those cable flies into like cable presses. But other than that, it was just straight sets the whole way. I had a spotter kind of help me on a few reps on some of the incline barbell bench sets. But, I mean, other than that, it was just 6 sets of bench, incline of course, 3 sets of those cable presses, which you could substitute that with whatever. You know, maybe hammer strength press or maybe dumbbell bench if you want. And then those flies at the end just to kind of get that extra little oomph of blood flow in there. That's perfect. You know, that pretty much fits my criteria of a good lift exactly. Probably, you know, the rep range is a really fucking hot topic nowadays. Or no, what is it? Not sets. The number of sets, like total volume in your lift, that's a well-argued topic. You know, you got the kind of low volume, high intensity guys with the, oh, you only need 4 sets per muscle group per lift. Like 4 sets of bench and then you're done. Nobody really argues like super high volume. That's kind of been debunked. But I'd say maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of widening the range. I usually say 8 to 12, but I now maybe say 7 to 11. Around there, right? And then your first maybe half of the lift are sets where you're really focusing on going heavy. And then the last half of the lift are sets where you're kind of maybe doing more contraction-based movements. So, you know, on the topic of chest, that'd be like heavy pressing versus flies, or, you know, like those cable presses were pretty fucking good too. And by the time you've done those 7 to 11, you know, depending on the person, whatever, you should be pretty much fully pumped. And, you know, apart from the fact that I just like the number 11, that's been working for me, right? If I'm fully pumped and I seriously don't feel like I can do any better pump-wise at like set 8, I wouldn't mind just ending the lift right there. You know, I've heard a lot of pretty big lifters sort of advocate for just hitting your muscle until it's fully pumped, and then you're done. You've done enough. But it's not an exact science. So, you know, whatever you like. If someone told me their workout and they said they did 20 sets for chest, I'd probably tell them to do a little less. But, you know, within that maybe 7 to 11 range, as long as all your sets are hard, it should be fucking perfect and effective. So, nothing else to fucking talk about. Cardio in the morning and then back day tomorrow. That'll be good. If this pump was any indicator of how tomorrow is going to be, then, oh my god, I'm already getting excited. So, yeah, fuck. I'll see you next time.